Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Brand Momentum Morning Show. I'm your host, Faith James. And for those of you who don't know me, I am the CEO and founder of the Personal Branding Consultancy. We do this show every morning, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. And the entire mission of this project is to inspire into action. So this month, it's Women's History Month. So we are reading from the book, Think and Grow Rich for Women. If you don't have a copy, you can grab it on Amazon or wherever books are sold. And we have been going through in quite a bit of detail the work from Sharon Lechter. And of course, this book is sort of the base from Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill. So loads of good things have been happening, lots of transformation. And I see people coming into the studio. So let me say good morning to Amber. Beautiful Amber is here all the time. Thank you, my love. Good morning, Pamela. Thanks for joining. Hello, Juliet. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining. Good morning, Mia. Thank you for joining, my love. Welcome to the Brand Momentum Morning Show. So as I always ask you, if you're so inclined to tag a female friend, share to anyone that you know is working on getting into momentum in their life. It could be personal, it could be business, doesn't matter. This is your daily dose of vitamin I. Good morning, beautiful Deb. So let us read. We're in chapter 12 on the brain. And it says the brain, a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. A broadcasting and receiving station for thought. When your entire brain is active, that means you are taking everything in through all sense perception. Your entire memory bank and your instincts are in play, so you make much quicker and more intelligent choices. Martha Beck. Now that we have triggered the importance of your subconscious, let's take a look at its physical protector, your brain. So much of our discussion is about what is happening inside the brain that it's important to take a look at the actual vessel itself. Hill spends a lot of time talking about the sending station function of the brain, which is our subconscious mind. Then he talks about our creative imagination and auto-suggestion. Remember, we talked about auto-suggestion a couple weeks ago. Good morning, Jessica. Thanks for joining, beautiful. And as the other two ways to trigger your mind, and the importance of starting with desire. So desire, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What's your big, strong, burning desire? Perhaps Hill's message teaches that this other self is more powerful than the physical self we see when we look in the mirror. While we know little about the mechanism of thought, we may know even less about the physical brain and its vast network of intricate machinery through which the power of thought is translated into its material equivalent. 100 years after Hill began researching the principles of success and how the brain works, science has given us a greater understanding of the brain, but we have learned that it is even more complex than he could have imagined. Let's get into the anatomy of the brain. Hill estimated in 1938 that there were from 10 billion to 14 billion nerve cells in the human cerebral cortex, and that they were arranged in definite patterns. For the last several decades, scientists have believed and reported that the human brain as a whole contains close to, ready? 100 billion neurons. The female neuroscientist Susana Herculano Auzil from Brazil, however, has recently discovered that the number for the total brain is closer to 86 billion neurons, with the cerebral cortex having 16.3 billion as compared to 10 to 14 that Hill mentioned. The cerebellum housing 69 billion and the balance in the rest of the brain. So let's take a closer look at the brain. The biggest part of the brain is your cerebrum, right? So like the main part. And the cerebral cortex is its outer layer called the gray matter. The cerebrum also contains white matter, which serves you by connecting the gray matter. The cerebrum makes up 85% of the brain's weight. Its function is to remember, problem solve, think, and feel. It also controls movement in your voluntary muscles. It has two halves, as we've seen from many doctor shows. The right half helps you think about abstract things, music, color, shapes, while the left half is more analytical, helping you with math, logic, and speech. So good morning, Facebook user. Good morning. I love that. Grand Rising. So if you were to answer this question, how would you sort of classify yourself? Are you more of a left brain or a right brain thinker? Which one would you say that you are? Just put in the comments. The right half of the cerebrum controls the left side of your body, and the left half controls the right side. The cerebellum means little brain in Latin and is at the back of the brain below the cerebrum. It's a lot smaller than the cerebrum at only 1/8 its size, but contains more neurons than the rest of the brain. It is very important. It's a very important part of the brain because it controls balance, movement, and coordination. Good morning, Rick. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Brand Momentum Morning Show. So Deb's saying she would classify herself as more of a right brain thinker. How about the rest of you? So it is also believed that the cerebellum is involved in cognitive functions like attention and language, and it may regulate your fear and pleasure responses. Good morning, beautiful Melody. Thanks for joining. Okay, Facebook user is saying primarily right. Mia is saying primarily right. Good morning, Jacqueline. What about the rest of you? Okay, so yeah, I said Mia said right. So again, remember the right side of the brain helps you with abstract things, music, colors, and shapes, while the left half is more analytical, helping you with math, logic, and speech. The limbic system connects the lower and higher brain function. It regulates emotion and memory, including motivation, mood, and sensations of pain and pleasure. The brainstem connects the cerebrum and the spinal cord. It is underneath the limbic system and is responsible for basic vital life functions such as breathing, heartbeat, blood pressure. The reptilian brain includes the cerebellum brainstem. It regulates vital functions like breathing, heart rate, your flight or fight response. These physical brain structures work together to help carry out the role of cognition or understanding. So to really pause on this and really get an understanding of how complex our brain is. Like I would say oftentimes, good morning, Pamela. Yeah, so Pamela was here. Pamela said slightly right. For us to really understand how intricate and how complex and how detailed the brain is and the varying parts and their functions. It's a powerful, powerful, powerful part of your entire being. These physical brain structures work together to help carry out the role of cognition and understanding. Brain cells communicate with each other through an electrochemical process. Every time you think, learn, or communicate, a neuron, meaning a brain cell in your brain, sends a nerve impulse that connects to another neuron, something called a synapse. So is there a difference between our brain and our mind? This is very important, guys. Listen in. Opinions vary on this topic. Most agree that the mind is the invisible, yet it processes incoming data and information, accessing long-term memory, creating short-term memory, and using conscious attention. In more simple terms, the brain is the physical part of your body, right? You can touch, sort of touch, that coordinates our movements, thoughts, and feelings, while our mind, so see it as this like invisible sort of sphere that's above the head and basically kind of all around, this idea of consciousness, right? Refers to our intangible understanding of things or our thought process. So your brain being distinguished from your mind, the brain being the physical component, the mind is sort of like the thinking, the understanding, the processing. So let me see who else. Okay, so slightly right. So the power of thought, so important. The topic of empathy is extremely important, especially for women. While it can be a tremendous asset, as shared by Pam previously in the book, it can also become a detriment to women. Empathy is defined as the ability to understand and share someone else's experiences and emotions, to feel their feelings. So while it's important to be empathetic, it is equally important to be able to control your own thoughts so that you do not become overwhelmed or obsessed by other person's feelings. Let's review our thoughts and our awareness of those thoughts. The National Science Foundation has statistics that estimate we have between 12,000 and 60,000 thoughts per day, depending on things like our creativity, problem-solving skills, and our careers. Other research reveals that as many as 95 to 98% of those thoughts are exactly the same thoughts we had the day before, and even more significantly, 80% of our thoughts are typically negative. Whoa. Pause. Stick a pin. Did you hear what she said? Whoa. So every day, mostly, 95 to 98% of the things we think we thought the day before. And that 80% of that 95 to 98% are typically negative. Do we understand what's going on here, people? Momentum crew, do we understand this? These 98%, as well as the negative thoughts, are automatic and take place in our subconscious. This is proof positive that we need to understand the power of our subconscious mind, as discussed in the previous chapter. This gives much greater impact to the saying, what you think about, you bring about. I love it. Momentum crew is on it. Rick's just jumped into the show. He's already like giving us gold. Super highway. Yes, yes, yes. I love that. Thank you for that, Rick. That's a great contribution. The vagus brain, super highway. But do we understand what we just heard? 95 to 98% of the thoughts we have are continuous thoughts. We thought the same things yesterday. We're thinking them today. We're going to think them tomorrow. 80% of those 95 to 98% are mostly negative. And predominantly happening at the subconscious level. Do you know what it means when it's happening at the subconscious level? It is not a conscious thought. You didn't just walk and go, oh, you know what? I hate her face. But deep in your subconscious, that's what's being communicated. And what did I just read to you? Every single time there is a thought, a neuron gets triggered. And it's sending messages off into the body, and the body's there taking its action, not asking you anything. It's like, oh, that was a negative thought. Okay, so we need to trigger the stress hormone. And what do we know about stress hormone, ladies? This morning, literally, I was thinking I need to order some cortisol, because I have my Young Living distributorship, because cortisol is a hormone that is triggered when you are stressed out, and you have no idea what that does to the entire system. And so you may not be thinking that you're stressed out, but on the subconscious level, we're dealing with negative thoughts all the time. So let's dig in. The impact of negative thought. The fact that 80% of our thoughts are negative is startling. Yeah, do you see me? Mouth open, to say the least. Compound that with our ability to be empathetic, which means other people's negative thoughts become contagious and can add to our own negative thoughts. This is why we tell Good Time Tina, you can't come around here with such frequency, because we know what you're all about. You're trying to be distracting and taking us off course, and we are not here for that. Judah Jorman, PhD, an associate professor at the University of Miami, has studied this field extensively and talks about people who have negative thoughts from which they can't recover. In her words, they basically get stuck in a mindset where they relive what's happening to them over and over again. Even though they think, oh, it's not helpful, I should stop thinking about this, I should get on with my life, they can't stop doing it. And this is the key. You can't stop doing it on your own by yourself. This is why I jumped into that leadership program that I'm telling you guys about. And I have, I'm going to set up calls with each of you. If you want to know about the leadership program, just type leadership down. I'll connect with you and I'll tell you. This is just me sharing it with you. It may or may not be for you, but this is key to understand that even though you might know this, you might be willing to say, yes, I understand the impact of negative thoughts. If you're stuck in a loop where even though you want to get out of it, you can't, because your subconscious brain has been hardwired for years and years and years and decades of thinking along these lines with a certain mindset. It requires help. It requires a team and a strategy to help you break through that and start creating new neural connections, to create new patterns of thoughts. So important. Rick says, don't forget an engram is a unit of cognitive information inside the brain, theorized to be that means by which memories are stored as a biophysical and biochemical changes in the brain or other neural tissues in response to external stimuli. Listen, Rick, we need to get you in the show here. I'm loving all of this. I'm here for all of this. You see how we just like level up our show? Brilliant. I love it. So important that we understand is that this isn't just something that sits atop of our body. Like, this is it. This is us. This is we, right? This never-ending cycle of negative thoughts causes mental and physical stress and will impact your physical well-being and health. In fact, the Center for Disease Controls and Prevention, the CDC, has established a significant link between stress and its physical consequences. Stress can make us fat, hello cortisol, cause disease and other illnesses, and can even lead to death. The CDC has linked stress to 6 of the leading causes of death: heart disease, cancer, lung ailments, accident, cirrhosis of the liver, and suicide. This mind-body connection is defined as, psychoneuroimmunology in medical terms. Jennifer Hawthorne, co-author of Chicken Soup for the Woman's Soul and Chicken Soup for the Mother's Soul, draws this simple comparison. If you're tired physically, it's hard to think clearly, right? On the other hand, if you've been using your mind doing mental work all day, you'll feel the effects physically too. Negative thoughts are particularly draining. Thoughts containing words like never, should, can't, complaints, whining, or thoughts that diminish our own or another's self-worth deplete the body by producing corresponding chemicals that weaken the physiology. No wonder we're exhausted at the end of the day. We get to learn this information. This isn't just for, all the people with the left brain, all the people with the genius IQ, right? We get to understand that this is important information for all of us, particularly for us as women who are the CEO and CFO of our households. You get to understand this. You're the CEO of your business. You get to understand this because it impacts every single thing that you do. It impacts every single decision that you make. If you're tired, if you're fatigued, if you're thinking negative thoughts, if you're not living the life that you love, if your life isn't bringing you joy, even if you don't utter it from your mouth, but you're feeling it and you're just like, ugh. So, simple thing. When we think about Mondays, and there was a recent, well, it wasn't recent, I read this many years ago, but it talked about the fact that most heart attacks happen on a Monday. Why? Because 70%, this was an article in Entrepreneur Magazine, 70% of US workers hate their jobs. So are you surprised to hear me say that majority, 80+% of heart attacks happen on Monday? Because when you hate your job and you've got to go in, or you've got to show up on a Zoom for 4 hours, your body is in stress. It is in agita. It's like fight or flight. And you may not be saying it, but you're feeling it. You're thinking it. Your subconscious mind. This is why I tell you guys, do not say, oh my gosh, oh, it's hump day, or oh, thank God it's Friday. This is the day, and every day is the day the Lord made, and we will rejoice and be exceedingly glad in it. We must find the joy. We get to find the joy. How you literally skip out on the negative thinking that's creating this emotional attack on your cells is you rest in gratitude. My gratitude journal every single day. So from the beginning, you can see this is where I am right now. Every single day, there are no notes in here. There are no meeting notes from a board meeting, conference room, nothing. This is me being intentional every single day, finding the joy. What is happening in my life for which I can express gratitude? And these are little everyday things. Something happened yesterday. I'm so grateful for a wonderful conversation with Kathy, because we get to rest in joy. We get to give ourselves a break. And so when we understand the power of gratitude and understand that that is the key that unlocks everything good in our life, Scripture tells us in all circumstances, give praise. It's not a mistake, right? It's scriptural. It works. It's factual. I've been doing a gratitude journal now for, years. Prior to that, it was just sort of wishy-washy, willy-nilly. I wasn't doing it with any practice. In your intention, anything that you do in your life, you must approach it with 100% intention. Wishy-washy gets nothing. There's a difference between a wish and a hope. What does Yoda say? You do or you don't do. There's no wishy-washiness in between. You get to be decided that you will be grateful, that you are grateful. So many times in Scripture where it says, and Jesus gave thanks to God, and then he did his thing. And Peter gave thanks to God, and then he did his thing. Giving thanks, thankful that we are here, that we are breathing. We have so much to be grateful for. If we can just surrender to that, knowing that while you may think your life is challenged, there are people out there who would amputate a left foot to have your life. And we get to be grateful for the blessings. We get to be grateful for the things that God has given us. Yes, every day is a new day. Live it best, full. There is no hump day. I encourage you, I invite you to release that from your system. I encourage you and I invite you to release stress and agita when you hear Monday. I invite you and encourage you to not see the entire week as something you're so grateful to have gotten rid of. Oh, thank God it's Friday. Here comes the weekend. You're so happy. And then Sunday, you're like, oh, you're sad. You've got the blues. Now you're setting yourself up for a heart attack. Every day is a great day. If we can come into that knowing and that understanding, wow. Wow. Morning, Dora. We need to evaluate those toxic jobs. Yeah. Save yourself. It is not worth it in the end to be in a place of employment where every turn, every person you look at, you can't stand. You can't stand being there. Do you understand that pressure? It's almost like a vice grip. You guys know what a vice grip is? The pressure. It's almost like a vice grip on your organs, like squeezing out the living life out of it slowly but surely every single day. We've got to shift that. Our life is at stake. Our very lives are at stake. Good morning, Facebook user. So Jessica is offering up this quote: when we feel the feelings, the energy, trauma that is stuck in our bodies creates the thought. If we can change how we feel, we can change how we think, because 80% of the nerve fibers send information from the body to the brain and only 20% in the brain to the body. And there's a feeling of that there's an autonomic change. Stephen Porges. Okay, I don't know his theory, but the idea there is good, right? Know that it's all connected. Like, I didn't intend for this to be, biology 101 or anything like that, but it's important that we all walk around with a brain and we all have a mind, and we don't get to just give that information or that knowing of how it works to anybody else. We get to know that as well. We don't have to be, junior Einsteins, but we get to participate in what it is that is the most powerful machine, if you will, on planet Earth. And we get to understand how it works. And we get to understand that every single thought triggers a neuron in your body that's sending feelings, thoughts, sensations to the rest of your organs. And if 80% of those thoughts are negative, no wonder we as a society, as a nation, as a species, have so much disease. We've got to get happy. We've got to get into gratitude. Bloom where you are planted. Yes, Mia, absolutely. So the ask for everyone and everybody listening in on replay. So is the acceptance that, okay, right, 80% of my thoughts are negative. I want to invite you to consider the following book. Let me see if I can pull it up and I'll share it with you. I was introduced to this book many moons ago. And truth be told, I haven't done the full work, but I'm offering it up to you because it's good. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to pull it up so you can see it. And I have it on my, my Kindle. Let's see. All right, let me share. We'll read together. And if anybody has it, let me know. Okay. So this is the book. The 7-Day Mental Diet. You can take a screenshot and you can write it down. It's by Emmett Fox. And it says, this little ebook can literally change your life, because it certainly did change the life of world-renowned life coach Anthony Robbins. In his international bestseller called The Giant Within, Anthony shared how Fox Emmett's article, The 7-Day Mental Diet, changed his life. Listen what Anthony writes. I came across the idea in a small pamphlet by Emmett Fox. In it, he expounded upon the value of spending 7 days without ever holding a negative thought. It seems so Pollyanna, so ridiculously simple, that at first I thought the whole concept was a waste of time. But as he began to lay out the rules of this diet he was prescribing to cleanse the mental system, I began to realize it might be more difficult than I thought. The challenge intrigued me, and the final results astounded me. Anthony then proceeds to give the following challenges to his readers. For the next 10 days, beginning immediately, commit to taking full control of all your mental and emotional faculties by deciding right now that you will not indulge in or dwell on any unresourceful thoughts or emotions for 10 consecutive days. Surely, if a world-renowned life coach like Anthony Robbins prescribe a mental diet based on the thought of Emmett Fox, there must be something to it. I'm very enthusiastic about the 7 days mental diet challenge, as well as since I know how much it benefited me when I was rather in a low place of my life. The 7-day mental diet showed me the nature of my thoughts and how often they tend to focus on the negative rather than the positive. It made me aware how often I at the time was indulging in my negative emotions and my negative thoughts. It made me realize that it was impossible for me to get to a better frame of mind unless I'm willing to change my thinking. So I'm very glad to be able to share with you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I want to get some thoughts. Yes, definitely humor is needed and lightens you up. If you are open, interested, willing, committed to get on this challenge, and I'm going to tell you, we're going to start it to give you time to get the book. Let's see, 18. We will start on the 22nd. We will give you time to get the book. Yeah. And listen, and he's just saying 7 days. And do you see what Benita says? 10 days is challenging. Why? Because 80% of our thoughts are negative. Do you know, that's like turning around the Titanic. You can't just go and turn. That's like days of maneuvering, right? To get that ship to turn. But it can be done, and it gets to be done. Jacqueline says, yes, she's in. It's right up her street. Yeah, let's do it. So go to Amazon, wherever books are sold, Goodreads, Barnes and Nobles, wherever. If you're in, just put 7-day mental diet, or actually make it easy for yourself. Put mental diet. Put mental diet if you are willing to go on this challenge with us. I mean, talk about momentum. This what we're doing here, we're going on a full mental physiological shift. Okay. So Jessica is in, Jacqueline is in, Brenda is in. I love it. We're going to start on the 22nd. Marion is in. I love it. So for everybody who's in and committed, go grab a copy of the book. Let me see if if I have it on the it's super It's super small. It's not to read it. That's not going to be your challenge for sure. And so one of the examples I want to give you of how you can think about this, I'm just looking here in my Kindle, how you can think about it. And here's the thing, guys, if you mess up, you start counting from one all over. You don't just get to continue. So it has, well, on my Kindle, it's 127 pages. You see, it's at 31%. I started it and didn't finish. We're going to change that next week. So, for example, you have a spouse, a significant other, a friend, a roommate that you live with, and your biggest pet peeve. Okay, Amber, I see you. So grab the book when we hang up, when we close the studio down, so that you can start to read it and understand all of the concepts. And I'll give you more details tomorrow on how we're going to run the challenge. And this person, your significant other, whomever, has a habit of using the bathroom, using the toilet, and leaving all the toilet seats are just up. And it's happened to you in the past where you have gotten up in the middle of the night, early in the morning, to use the toilet and almost fell into the bowl. Like your butt almost fell into the water because there was no seat. It was up. And this has been a recurring pattern, and you've like talked till you're blue in the face. And you just seethe. You're mad, and you're mad all day, and you just say all sorts of crazy things, and you give them the cold shoulder, and you're just mad. So when you cleanse, you're cleansing you. You're not fixing other people. Let me just be clear. This is work on you. When you cleanse and you go through the 7-day mental diet, your spouse, your significant other, your roommate, whatever, they still leave the toilet seat up. Yeah, Emmett Fox. Yep, Emmett Fox. They still leave the toilet seat up. But when you see it, your first thought isn't, oh, this. Your thought is, you know what? I'm so grateful that my husband is well and able-bodied, that he can stand to pee. Understanding fully that there are others who are wheelchair bound, who have to have other means and mechanisms, whether it's a catheter or, some other way that they're like peeing in a pan. I'm so grateful that my husband is able-bodied and he has use of both legs and he can stand and pee. And that becomes the thought instead of this damn whatever. Like how many times I talk till I'm blue in the face. Put the seat down. 3 times this week, I almost fell in the toilet. I'm so done with this. Shifts to, I'm so grateful. Thank you, God, that my husband is able-bodied. Thank you, God, that he has both legs and we can play tennis and we can do golf together. And we have the ability to go on hikes and, walk through the Everglades and enjoy all of nature. So when Bonita said it's hard, she's not kidding. Because when you talk about hardwire, decades of just getting pissed off. Oh, my pet peeve. What's your pet peeve? My pet peeve. Like we love to sort of ruminate in all the chaos. Yeah, Jackson said, you just become unbothered. But please hear me when I tell you, it shall not be easy, but we get to do it. We get to be overcomers, because when you talk about releasing the stress from deep inside your body, when cortisol is not like living in your home, in your body, your home, I mean. Right, Mia? But it's seeing the good. It's seeing the good. So Jacqueline, it's not even picking the battles. It's you just see the good. Your brain immediately go, they talk about finding the silver lining in the dark clouds, that this is retraining your brain to just immediately be laser focused on what's the good in this. You don't even see that, he's totally ignored you and doesn't consider that you get up in the early mornings and you're trying to be thoughtful of him or her, not to turn the light on to see that there's no toilet seat there to hold you up. And you just go. It's a training that gets to be done. And I am grateful I get to lead you through this, come alongside. As you know, I'm the Sherpa. We're going to come together. We're going to go together. But we have a full opportunity to make a significant shift. Because when you're talking about stepping into your leadership and something goes wrong, you're doing a presentation, let's just say something goes wrong and you freak out and you fly off the handle. Now the whole place is in chaos because your team, they're afraid like, oh my gosh, I don't want to say the wrong thing to her because she's going to blow up. As opposed to the projector goes down and you just go, okay, right. How many people do we have in the audience? Okay, great. Guys, let's take a 15-minute break. We're going to run copies just of the worksheet portions, and we're going to go through those until AV and tech get here, and we will do this portion for the afternoon session. Is that good? Everybody good with that? Okay, great. 15 minutes break. Go, have a bio break. We'll get worksheets printed. That if you can be that leader, so many good things happen to you. People want to be around you. People are not afraid of you to bring you problems because they know it's like, oh my gosh, he's going to fly off the handle. She's going to just lose it. That you've trained your brain. It's all good. It's good. You talk about where we're headed for? We're headed for, somebody hashtag this, peace that passes all understanding. This is the What Would Jesus Do challenge. 7-day mental diet challenge by Emmett Fox. Right? So no, Benita, there's no Zoom for this. This is, we're going to be self-directed, but we're going to have it be a part of let's see, from the 22nd. We may just go through till the rest of the, let's see, 1, 2, yeah. Perfect. It'll be 8 days till the end of March, but we'll just wrap this up. This will be our little mini micro challenge in the Brand Momentum Morning Show crew. Because we're doing a challenge with the accelerators, I figured why not give the Momentum crew a little challenge too. So Benita, what platform? Because you might be seeing it, Benita, you might be seeing it from one of the Facebook pages, and other people might be watching it on my personal page. So you're not on the same platforms, but you get to see the stream. This is the joy and the beauty of StreamYard. I know, but I'm not coming on, Benita. I'm not coming on Saturdays and Sundays. The Momentum Show doesn't go on the weekends. So if you want to do 10, if you want to do 7, we're not going to all knock it out of the park straight away. We just know that, but this is just to sort of walk us through, get to the 7 days. You get to be honest with yourself. You get to say, you know what? This one thing happened, and immediately I was just like, oh, isn't that just like her? That's a negative thought. Benita, no, you can't think that. No, Benita, you don't get to think negative thoughts on the weekends. I'm just not going to be here to shepherd you through it. I'm holding you accountable for the 7 days that I'm in the show. But no, please do not think negative thoughts on the weekends. That would completely defeat the purpose of what we're trying to accomplish. So that's what we have got going on. So think about where, if you can even use this now as a little bit of pre-work, where do you tend to be flying off the handles the most? Get some awareness of where you don't show up in your full power. Is it people at work? Is it the children? Is it your spouse, significant other, cohabitating lover, whomever? Start to identify where you get triggered in most areas of your life. And let's start to get some power there. Good morning, Karen Mayfield. Thank you for joining us. Yay, Karen's first time in the studio. Wonderful. Karen, we are here every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Welcome to the Brand Momentum Morning Show. So love it when new people find the light. This is what we're all about. This is our daily dose of vitamin I, your inspiration into action. So identify your areas. So it can be, again, in personal or business. I would say look at all areas because you are your brand. Yeah, correct. So look at all areas, identify where you tend to be triggered. And if you mess up, so I love what Karen says she just got her the challenge. I do this practice every day. But here's the kicker. It's about the consecutive days, right? You're going to keep your own tracker. So let's just say you got through day one because you pretty much isolated yourself and you try not to be in the company of others. But let's just say you're doing well. You did not have any negative thoughts, at least at your conscious level that you were aware of. And then on day 4, just one little thing slipped in. And you cursed and you were pissed off. Guess what? You start day 1 again. So while we can say we do it every day, but are we tracking and holding ourselves accountable? You want to get to a solid 7 days. So we're just kicking it off on the 22nd. This may take some of us well into June before we even get to 7 days of no negative thinking. We're using the 7-day mental diet to cleanse our system. It is not going to be easy. Do you see my Kindle? I got to 31% and stopped. So it's not easy, but we get to do it. So you could be at day 6 and the morning of day 7, you get some news about a client or you had a gig that was canceled. Bonita. That was booked and you were all excited about it and you promoted it and you told people and you're like, something's come up. We're going to have to cancel your portion and reschedule you for the fall. If your immediate reaction is, oh my gosh, that totally sucks. You just like slid back down. Now you got to start climbing back up from 1. This is how serious it is. Right? This is how serious it is. Okay, Bonita, I'm not even going to respond to that. I'm not sure where you're going with that. What if you have a thought, but catch yourself and replace it with a positive thought? Yes, you have to start over. If it's negative, it's like you say, oh, I broke a bottle, but I swept it up. That's it. That's good. Did a bottle break? Yeah. So we count that as 1 inventory loss. But thinking about getting to collecting, you remember I just read from you what Tony Robbins challenged his people with 10 days. Emmett Fox was saying 7 days. Tony Robbins said, go 10. Because that rigor gets to happen for us because 80% of everything we think is negative at the subconscious level. So it takes radical rewiring to shift. Because if you think about it, even from your business standpoint, if you have a client that calls you and says, I need to reschedule this call. If your immediate reaction is like, oh, she's going to totally blow me off. She's not going to do the project. that tells you that you get to do this work, that this is where we need to spend some more time building up, because she just literally had a conflict in schedule and just needed to shift it. But your mind immediately went to, oh, gonna blow me off, just like everybody else loves to just blow me off, like treat me like a doormat. No, that's negative thought. Like, you're making up your own story and believing it and thinking it's true. Thought mapping, Karen is offering, creating a space for positivity keeps you in the field of positivity. Absolutely. Absolutely. So negative thoughts we're banishing. That is the goal. It's not going to be perfection. And as I said, I think I said it in the accelerator group yesterday, the twins, the procrastination and the perfection twins who like to skip around town and come visit you every once in a while, don't let them in. Because procrastination is going to prevent you from getting the book and saying, you know what, I've got these other things going on here. I can't start this thing. And the perfectionism twin is going to say, you know, that's so hard. That don't even try, because you're going to look like a fool. You're going to be the one up there saying, yeah, I haven't gotten to one day without a negative thought. Don't do that. If you can't get it to a 10, don't even try it. And then guess what? Nothing happens. And guess what? You stay exactly where you are and you stay spinning and circling the drain, and nothing shifts and nothing changes. And life is passing you by. Life is now. Life is about more life. We have to be fully expressed in the life that we have, that we get to live. So I'm excited. I'm super excited. Thank you guys for leaning in and playing along. Anytime we can make a good shift in the direction of goodness, it's good. So don't worry like, oh my gosh, I didn't get to day 6. We're just going to be honest. We get to be vulnerable. We get to be transparent. We get to say, you know what? I haven't even hit one day yet and we're on day 6, right? We get to be open and transparent, because that's when we surrender. That's when we get into new birth, new growth, new everything. So any questions before I wrap us, because I have to jump into the Women Helping Women group and go do a live for them. Any questions on what we're doing with the challenge? So the challenge will be self-directed, meaning you go get the book. Just like you saw, I have mine downloaded on Kindle. Get the physical book. It's like a little teeny tiny thing. No big deal. And we start on the 22nd. So when we show up here, and this is where the work's going to get done. When we show up here in the studio and we're going to finish this book in March, but in the interest of always pushing and leaning forward and doing more, I'm adding on 7 days of the 7-day mental diet, because the power of the subconscious, the power of thought, it's so important. No momentum happens for you unless you get this. And so we're just busting through. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be perfect. We're just busting through. We're taking intentional action. So any thoughts? Any questions? Yeah, no, that's a good point too, Benita. If that's a part of the act, that's perfectly fine. It's you, the human, not any of the puppets. This is you showing up as you in any circumstances or any situations. So good. Yeah, these are the 3 people you want to be aware of and be on the alert. The P twins, perfection, procrastination, and good time Tino. Do not let them in. Yes, it's a purge. It's a negativity purge. It's a detox. It's a cleanse. Because guess what, guys? What's coming? That would be spring. Not only do we clean and cleanse and clear. Where's Melody? Thanks to Melody. I have my, I have 3. I have my sage and rose bundles ready for the spring cleaning, the cleansing of the energy, the air. So this is the spring cleaning of our mind. So we're purging, we're detoxing, we're moving out, we're just all of it. Negativity purge loading right now. So, okay. Any questions about the challenge? I'm super excited for it. So this is our spring cleaning of the mind. Some of you will spring clean your home, your office, your drawers. I invite you, if you don't know Marie Kondo, get to know Marie Kondo, do a little Marie Kondo on your filing system. We'll take a little bit of steps here and there. We get to do this on ourselves. We get to do this on our mind because this is the thing that controls everything. And so while we're cleaning up our house and getting new furniture and all these wonderful things, but this is still years and years and years and years of toxic overload, no cleansing, no clearing out, old bastardized thoughts still haunt us, roaming the halls of our minds. It's time to go. I said before, last year, 2020 was like the controlled burn. In forest management, there's a controlled burn. Let 2021 for you now be the rebirth, right? The unfurling. So all of that dead stuff that didn't serve burnt off. Now new roots, new shoots. So here we go. So Karen, this is so mark your calendar. Everybody make sure that you have this set for notifications so that every time I go live, it'll tell you we're going live in the Brand Momentum Morning Show. So there's no sign up. We're just going to do this. You know what? This is good. This is me literally like that. This was a God deposit. I didn't even plan to do this today, but as we were going through, God was like, let's just do a 7-day mental day challenge on top of this. So I said, okay. But if we do it and we like it and we love it, I may do it as a full-on challenge as part of the accelerator group. So that may be coming up as well. And as I like to do, remind you of the accelerator program. If you are not a member of the Brand Accelerator program and the accountability program, this is your opportunity to get in. It's a one-time pay of $97, your lifetime access. It's hashtag Faith for Life, Monday morning shout out for goals, weekly accountability. We do beautiful challenges. Right now we're in the March Madness challenge, and we have our monthly live huddle Q&A session with me. So I was thinking about that this morning, so I'm in several just because, I'm just determined that 2021 is just going to be like my quantum leap year. So I'm leaning in and doing everything that I know I get to do. And so there's a program that I'm in, a year-long program. Actually, it's not even a year long, but it could turn out to be. This one is sort of like 8 weeks. 8 weeks. I think I invested something like $11,000. $11,000. It's been going on now for about maybe 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks. No, maybe a little bit more. I still have yet to see the CEO of the company, the person who did like the whole sales thing when I was like, yep, that's what I want. I want that funnel. Go build it for me. Yep. Have not seen that person yet. I'm just telling you about the different modes of operation. So I pay $11,000. I have not yet had one conversation with the CEO, the lead person. And you have now an accelerator program for $97 where the only person you get is me. It's a deal of a deal of a steal. And the reason I'm doing, somebody asked me like, why are you doing this? Like, my one-on-one programs are $14,000. Why are you doing? Because I get to be a resource. I get to be a resource for people who may not right now yet have the investment of $14,000. But the thing that they do have an even though nevertheless mindset. They do have a heart to win. They want to make a difference and an impact. But resourcing, financial resourcing, cash flow is not available for them right now. I still want to be able to serve those people. So this accelerator program is created just for that reason. And when I put it on AppSumo, it went even more incredibly because I gave them the lifetime deal. So when you get it on appsumo.com, it's $97 and you're in for life. You don't want to miss this. Because why I tell you I paid $11,000 and I haven't spoken, because that's what a lot of programs are. It's like, there you go and go with God. You don't get the access to me. So get it while the getting's good. Get it while the going's hot. And I love that Benita says the March Madness is challenging. You know what I love about that? Because it's stretching you. It's stretching you beyond the comfort zone. Because if I leave you to your own devices, right? What did the book say? 95 to 98% of the thoughts are the same thoughts that we thought yesterday. So if yesterday you thought, oh, doing a Facebook Live is hard. Today, you're going to think doing a Facebook Live is hard. Tomorrow, you're going to think doing a Facebook Live is hard. So until I come in and interrupt that pattern, you're just in this loop. It's like the hamster wheel. It's not going to stop. So I have to get you off. I get to get you off that hamster wheel and show you potential and purpose. So that's why when I say the Brand Accelerator Program is a must get, it's a must have, it's a no-brainer. There's nothing to think about. Even if you can't participate in all of the things, it's $97 for life for a one-time investment. I just told you I paid $11,000 and I haven't seen the person once yet. Right? I've been on with different coaches or different people that they bring in to do different things. The main guy, but I paid $11,000 because what they offer is valuable. I'm like, I don't care who it is. I want this thing built. So I need you to think about that. So if this is something that you're like, you know what, I've been really wanting support and help and guidance, and I love what I'm seeing here. If you love what you're seeing in the Momentum Show, wait until you see what we are building coming up. Also keep on the radar, keep your April 6th clear. I'm doing the Being the CEO of You retreat. It's a live retreat with musical guests. I just locked in an amazing singer and storyteller, and wait till you hear her story. Wow. A guitarist who plays like Slash. Anybody know who Slash is? I've booked him, and I may be booking one more. I have somebody who's going to be doing meditation and grounding us in the idea of being the CEO and what the CEO mindset, because this is what this is all about. We don't get to just say we're in business. You get to understand what a CEO mindset looks like and how that should feel and how that needs to be manifested in your life and your operations. And then everything from financing and sales and closing deals and marketing and tech is going to be built into this new CEO bootcamp intensive that I'm producing right now. So when I tell you that I chose to cancel Brand Therapy Thursday, it's because Brand Therapy Thursday is now going to be looped into the CEO program, and it will be a full paid program where we're surrounding you, and I'm literally bringing in experts from every area to be in service to you every single day. That's why it's an intensive. So I'm so excited for that. Oh, Karen says, I'm a positivity coach and I know everything you're saying is true. And just being on your call this morning was, I stumbled onto you and have found a like-minded sister speaking my language. I'm a Shiko. Oh my gosh. I love that. She's a Shiko. Karen, you have blessed me with your words. Thank you for speaking truth, because sometimes people might think, it's too good to be true. But Karen's exactly right. This session that I just did with you should be paid. And I'm so grateful to you, Karen, because Karen didn't have, I just met Karen like literally just now. I've not spoken to her before. I've never seen her name before. She's literally just, as she said, just stumbled in. And as a fellow coach, she understands that. But for me, as a daughter of Abraham, as a child of God, I know I get to go. And he's like, who shall I send? Send me, God. Because I know fully what it felt like when I was in a corporate position and doing the work, doing good work, but my heart was not fluttering. I was not in line with the calling of what God had on my life. And until I got to that place, glory, and now I'm here, I'm in my promised land. Guess what? I get to bring other people into their promised lands. That is my role, my responsibility that I take on fully. And so I am not confused. I can tell you so many strategists I've been to where I tell them what, what's going on with my agency and what I'm doing and what my plans are, just because, this is what I tell you, even the coaches need a coach. And they're like, you better shut down that accelerator $97 foolishness, because you are burning yourself and giving away time. And that is insane. And I said, you know what? I serve a God of multiplication. I'm good. What else you got for me? What else you want to talk about my operations? Because I'm decided that this gets to get done. This gets to get done. Oh, Karen, I love you. She's like, preaching, sister, you're just getting warmed up. Oh my gosh. Yes. So everybody, this is last call, not the last call for alcohol. Shout out to everybody who celebrated St. Patty's yesterday. Last call now, because I literally am going to go jump into the Women Helping Women group. If you're not an accelerator, just comment accelerator below. You should be receiving in your Facebook Messenger, and that's my Savvy Bee. Savvy Bee will be ushering you through all of the details of the accelerator program. And like I said, to me, you just get it. I can't even tell you how many programs I like. I know I need it. I'll get to it. It's evergreen. It's lifetime. I'm in. I don't need to think about it. Let that be this for you. I will see everybody here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm so grateful to you guys. I do not take your presence here for granted. I know I am blessed beyond repair, and I'm so grateful. Yeah, Karen, the money's up. Absolutely. 1000%. Okay, beautifuls. I love you so much. Take care, and we'll see everybody tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. We're out.